That's a choice. Man, thank you. I'm going to follow my sister Kimberly's lead and tell a little bit of a story and a little bit of reflection. My grandma was a woman of faith. In her 20s, she raised what money she could from her community and her work as a nurse, and then packed up her things and traveled mostly alone all the way from Iowa to West Africa and Cameroon by train and boat in the middle of World War II. And I know her faith was rooted mostly in the spiritual. I believe she also had faith in people and faith that justice would win out. She had faith that her community had prepared her and given her enough resources to make the journey and make a positive impact. And she had faith that her work would still be meaningful in the face of what felt like seismic shifts in the world at the time. My friend, Miss Angela Watts, recently reminded me the other day that faith and perseverance are tightly bound. As she put it, faith is the substance of things not seen. And to me, that may be the most important ingredient in perseverance. Perseverance is seen throughout my story. I think of my father who left his home country, came to a foreign land, and persevered to create a life with different opportunities for me and my siblings than he had. And my father was able to chase that dream because generations of African Americans and their allies persevered in their struggle to abolish slavery and gain civil rights under the law. So I've long seen my work as a contribution and continuation to that legacy of perseverance. And I'm therefore admittedly somewhat uncomfortable accepting an award for perseverance. I believe I'm simply doing all I can with the talent and opportunity I was given and have earned. And to me, the parents in my clinic who are working 2 jobs and splitting shifts so that they can make ends meet and make childcare, they are showing perseverance. My Black women colleagues, many of them friends and mentors, who have to deal with everything I do on top of misogyny and paternalism, that's perseverance. Our colleagues who care for our communities in parts of the world that our government has turned a blind eye to or is actively exterminating, whether that is North Minneapolis or the Phillips neighborhood, whether that is Sudan, the Congo, or Gaza. They are who I believe exemplify perseverance. And so in accepting this honor, I present everyone with a challenge. We are gathered here to celebrate and advance health equity. We collectively see and experience what is broken in our system. And so the challenge is, once you see a system for truly what it is, you have a decision to make. Will you keep going with the status quo? Or will you start to push for change? Do you use your power, position, and privilege to advance justice for just your community, or practice solidarity with all communities under the boot of oppression? If you see something, do you say something? Once you make your decision, then you commit to persevere, either to speak or to be silent, either for justice or for ignorance. And to persevere for justice requires that we also find spaces to collectively dream, to imagine a world that looks like where we don't need to simply persevere. Much of my most impactful work has been in the wake of George Floyd's murder, and Ta-Nehisi Coates has reflected on the impact of the global protests and the movement that followed, noting some of us see the lack of policy change and wonder if the movement itself was futile, but policy change is an endpoint, not an origin. The cradle of material change is in our imagination and ideas. We may not live to see the world we know is possible, but our kids, or our grandkids, or future generations to come can. So in persevering, we have a choice to make, a choice to have faith. And I'd be lying if I stood up here and said that every day I make the right choice. But I believe one of the reasons I am standing is because on more days than not, I choose faith. Faith in my family to hold me down. Faith in my friends and colleagues to be allies and accomplices in speaking truth to power. Faith in my community, that they know what we need to thrive and that we are better together. And faith that justice will ultimately triumph over injustice. So thank you for coming together tonight to celebrate work that is critical to the health and well-being of all of us. Thank you to my colleagues, co-conspirators, students, and others that have taught me so much and who I look to for inspiration. Thank you to my wife, Jenny, who showed me in so many different ways what true perseverance looks like as we built our family together. And thanks to my boys, and Chai and G, who both provide us so much light and hope for a brighter tomorrow. Let us persevere together by keeping the faith, imagining those things not yet seen, and acting collectively to get there. Thank you.